I've got my lovely model here, Lola, who's not looking very convinced by it all, and I'm going to show you how to do a physical check. So the first thing I'm going to start with is Lola's beautiful nose. Now, if you have a look at her nose, you can see it's really shiny, and when I touch it, it's beautifully wet. It's lovely and wet. This is her lovely sister, whose nose is equally wet. So what we're looking for in her nose, we're looking for, is it dry or scabby? Is it shiny? Touch it, see whether it's wet or dry, and you're looking for a nice shiny wet nose. Lola's very shy. So the next thing I'm going to check is her eyes. She's a bit shy and wondering what I'm doing. So if we look into her eyes, can you see how beautiful and shiny and sparkly they are? She can have a treat for that. I'll have to give Indy one too. These are organic chicken treats. So her eyes are beautifully sparkly, and what I'm doing, see it, is I'm looking at her reactions. Are they nice? She says no problem there with eyesight with her following it. I'll give you one in a minute, Indy. So it's lovely sparkly eyes, looking at the reaction, nice blinking reflex when I go towards them. So the next thing we're going to do, Lola, is your beautiful ears. I like ears like this. Now, when I'm feeling the ears, there's no hotness or inflammation there. And then I'm going to look inside your ears, and if you can see there, they're lovely and clean, no redness, no inflammation. Oh, they smell lovely, Lola. They smell good enough to kiss. So now we're going to go down her spine. Now Lola's got a harness on because she's we're out on a walk, and I'm going down her spine, and I'm just checking. I'm using finger tight checks. Obviously normally I do this without the harness on, to see if we've got any sensitivity there. And a little bit of reaction here actually, and she did jump over a big fence yesterday, so a little bit tender there. Rest of it looking pretty good all the way down, so that's nice. And what I'm doing is I'm running my hands over her, and I'm feeling for any lumps or bumps. Now Lola's got a very thick wolf-like coat, as you can see, because you're a little wolf, aren't you? So I'm feeling and making sure no lumps and bumps, and I'm also checking her fur. Now look how thick Lola's fur is. It's really thick. This is a bit orange here because she's been digging, and we've got orange sand here. And I'm feeling down and looking deep in her coat to check for any lumps and bumps or itchiness. Now in here we can see the natural powder here that I've got. This is my natural flea repelling powder, and I'll show you why. Because Lola here, can I just stand you up, darling? Lola here, I've got my trusted sister, has got a few sore bites here because she is very allergic to fleas, aren't you, Lola? So when she gets a flea bite or a tick bite and we're on sand, she gets soreness there. So that's why I use the natural flea biter. Now we're going to look down and look nicely onto her tummy. So what I'm doing, feeling down her tummy, making sure there's no sensitivity. No sensitivity, making sure there's no sore patches, that all her nipples are all okay and everything. Slight scratch around this nipple, so I've got to keep an eye on that. So obviously where she scratched herself. So that's lovely, no sensitivity there. You're so sweet. Now Lola, let's look at your Wolverine teeth. Look at her teeth. So I'm opening up, look at those lovely teeth. Opening up here to look for any plaque. Little bit of plaque on this back one, look. So we're going to discuss that. That needs a bit of attention, so she might need some more bones. Nice healthy pink gums. Nice reflex on her gums, lovely pink. And no, oh, your breath smells lovely, kissable. No smell on her thing. So a little bit of plaque. Now one of the reasons Lola has a little bit of plaque is I don't give her as many bones as I should, because she's quite food aggressive in terms of she has to be separated from the others, so I can't give her bones with the others. And now she doesn't like this bit much. I'm just feeling in between her little paws and just making sure I feel, this is your tickly spot, isn't it? Feeling in between each paws, because it's really important that I check her claws and no dry or crack points between her paws. So she's got lovely claws, not too long. She's very tickly there, aren't you? And I've checked all there. So now we're going to have to get her up and just check your legs. Come on, Lola. She loves this sand. Come on, Lola. Lola, up here. Come here, I'll give them both a treat. So what I'm going to do now is finish off just by checking her legs. So what I'm going to do, Lola, is I'm just going to pick up her legs one at a time, and I'm going to flex them nicely. Make sure there's no pain there, and I would do this on each side. You're a bit camera shy, aren't you? Just to check there's no sensitivity and no pain there. So that's pretty much it. So Lola, I would say, is doing very, very well, as is her beautiful sister Indy. The only thing I would say we need some attention for is this flea allergy, which I will discuss in the video what I'm addressing that with. And she's got to start with some plaque build-up, well, she has got plaque build-up on her back teeth. So that's something we'll be discussing in the video how to address. Well done. In the other video is weight. So Indy, if we walk up and down, I don't know if you can see on the video, but Indy's easier to show on the video really for weight. So when she's a bit shyer, Indy will stand up. When we stand up with Indy's weight, when I'm feeling my hand, I can feel her backbone nicely, and she's got a nice covering over her ribs, but I can easily feel the ribs. So very healthy weight. I mean, if I just Indy, walk up and down. She's such an active dog, but I don't know if you can see, you can sort of distinctly see her ribs. Lola's are more difficult because she's very thick fur. I'll just take Lola as well, Lois, and we'll just show them here. Lola, Indy. And Lola's a thicker fur, so she's much more difficult to try her way. Come here. Good girl. They love these organic chicken treats from Ricchetto. But what I want you to do is with Lola, with a dog with a thicker fur, I've got to feel through the fur and feel, and I can easily feel every rib, but they're not jutting out, so she's not too skinny. So hopefully you can feel, I mean, there's no problem at all feeling your ribs, is there? And certainly no problem seeing your ribs. So obviously if you've got a dog that's got thick fur, it's going to be more difficult than say one like Indy, where you can quite clearly see the definition of the rib cage here and feel them very clearly. Another test is just when you turn their head to the side here, the other side, you'll see the definition of the ribs a bit more clearly. They'll do anything for these treats. Honestly, best treats ever. All right, thank you.